Real good subject. This time we're talking about the 4 seasons of marriage. And this is the one I believe that probably just about started the whole thing for us, because these are the kind of conversations we'd have every time I came home from work. We talk about a new couple that she or I had talked to, whereby just a few months before, a few weeks before, they were in love.
Yeah.
They were happy. Everybody was feeling so good. Everything was so right. But then just a matter of months, matter of weeks later, it's like, I don't feel like I'm in love anymore. I don't feel the same way anymore. And that's because they thought the relationship was going bad. That wasn't what it was. What happened was the season changed. There's an entirely different matter when a relationship is going bad versus it's just a changing of seasons. And so let's describe those seasons today to help our new couples especially understand what they're getting themselves into. And when something's changing, that it does not mean it's not a sign of the end of your relationship. It's not the sign of the end of your love, your infatuation, and your passion. That's not what it is. It's simply that the times have changed and the seasons have changed. Number one, spring. Springtime is when everything is fresh, everything is new, you're discovering things, okay? You're discovering things for the first time, and those conversations you're having on the pillow are beautiful and wonderful. Everything's nice. Springtime is good.
You don't go to sleep.
No, you're not going to sleep. Not in the springtime. No, you don't go to sleep in the spring. And so the honeymoon phase.
The honeymoon phase.
Yeah. And that's just one phase though. And like we were saying a second ago, a lot of these newer couples think that because the season changed and they feel differently now, and that it doesn't feel like springtime, that our love is gone and I don't love him anymore. She's crazy, I don't like her, she's this and that. That's not what it is. It's that the seasons have changed and you have to learn to appreciate every last one of them. Tell us, baby, about women and how they feel when the infatuation, discovery point, springtime moment is over. What happens in you guys?
Well, I don't even think that I really have to explain that to a woman, because we are groomed for this. We start off as little girls playing with Ken and Barbie, and all we can imagine is somebody loving us in that way. Somebody driving up in their convertible and, coming to take us out on a date, and we get to put on our nice little outfit. And so I think that for a woman, we ready ourselves from day one to experience that. So, of course, for any woman that's having a fresh love, it's like everything, it's like you have, colored shades on, that you're looking at the world through colored lenses. Everything is beautiful.
Everything's great.
The sun is always out. The sun is always shining. There's no rain.
You don't see the flaws.
No.
You don't see the problems. Even if you do see some, those colored shades, boy, they make you see things differently.
Yeah, they do. And, just like we said before, everything is fun and exciting and loving, and there are no flaws that are apparent or that are big enough
to even matter.
Yeah, it's an exciting time. Everything is new. You're having fun. And I just want to say to the newlyweds, enjoy it.
Oh, yes.
Enjoy it.
Yes. Every minute, every second.
Every minute, every second. Don't stress this. Don't sweat the small stuff. Let stuff go
Let spring be spring.
Let spring be spring. And even those that are not married yet, I find that a lot of women, because they want to be married so bad, when they get in springtime, they rush the process. It's like, well, let's pray. Let's touch and agree. Let's have Bible study. Hold on. Hold on. I'm going to tell you what I did. Of course, I prayed. We were very spiritual. And really and truly, that's probably what kept us
It sure did.
That's probably what
to
kept
tell the
us
truth.
to our wedding day. But we still went out. We still laughed. I
we
still
had a
went
good
over.
time.
You know, I still went over to his apartment, and he came
Late
over
night
to
too,
my.
baby.
Yes.
Yes, man.
We went walking.
But we
on
were
the
good.
lake.
We were good.
We were good. You know,
But
we didn't do.
you didn't go home though early enough. You bad girl. You just bad.
That's true. I wasn't.
Okay.
That's true. But you know, springtime is just that. You know, it's springtime. It's happy. You know, your heart is skipping a beat. Your palms are sweating. Enjoy that time because
that's the season. That's the season where you're planting seeds. Mm-hmm. That's the season where that love and infatuation period, that googly-eyed, warm butterflies in the stomach period. That season plants a lot of seeds of stability and love and connection that carry you through
the other seasons.
Through the other seasons.
Yeah.
And so that's why we say take advantage of those seasons. It's perfect and it's wonderful to have those seasons, but it's also unrealistic to believe that springtime is perpetual because it's not. It's not the end of your relationship. It's just that it's not spring. So number one, springtime. Even old people who are in relationships don't mourn. It's okay that you don't feel butterflies this time when they walk in the door. It's okay that when they call, you don't feel like you just have to pick the phone up. Oh, my baby's calling me, my love is calling me. It's okay for things to settle down. It's okay. It doesn't mean that you don't love them. It doesn't mean that you don't have passion anymore. Anything that lasts for a long time, company, relationship with God, people, anything that you have, newness is only for a season. But it's not the best part all by itself. It's just a part. Every part has its purpose. Okay, so here we go. That's spring. Next, summer. Now you know summertime. Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
Hey, look, you know. Okay. Now the thing about summer is it's just not spring anymore. Okay. The weather's still nice. You're still having fun. You're still enjoying each other's company. You're having a good time. It's just not spring. And at the end of summer is when you start having the harvest from the seeds that you planted in spring, all the seeds of love and infatuation and connection and discovery. You start to harvest from that stuff, you know, and... You're
talking about harvest, but I think it's important to explain to the people what they're harvesting and what you have to do in the springtime so that the harvest is ready for you to draw up on in the summer.
Yeah, well, I think we actually hit it already a little bit because we talked about the fact that you have the discovery, you're learning about each other, you're beginning to understand each other's ways and thoughts and feelings, you're meeting each other's families and getting to know each other's families, you're talking about whether we're going to have babies and all these different kinds of things. You're starting everything afresh, and that commitment is strong in the beginning. Since it's so new and so fresh, you know, most times when the guy, especially the guy, is getting ready to settle down, it's still new, it's still fresh. It's, you know, he's remaining faithful. You know, the wife is, or the girlfriend remaining faithful. But when summertime comes, the freshness of just this is brand new is not there like that. Is we're starting to settle in into a relationship where we decide to be committed. We decide to build each other.
Yeah.
It's not just fun discovery.
Yeah.
You know, we planted. Now we're starting to reap the harvest from that. You know that she's going to, you know, look out for you and be faithful to you. You know that he's going to do the same. So summertime, the way I like to describe summer is that it's just not spring anymore. It's still fun. It's still great. Everything is wonderful. But it's just not spring.
Yeah, and I think a lot of newlyweds especially are tripped up over this.
Yes, over summertime.
Over summertime, because summertime is like a shocker. You know, it's like, and that's the reason why we say when you're in springtime, enjoy the season. Don't sweat the small stuff. You know, I remember years ago we went to counseling. Listen, counseling is not a bad thing, but we went to counseling over a little minute discussion that we had, and it was fun. It was really minute. It was
actually, I don't even remember what it was about.
It was about when I came to visit you at your classroom, and you asked me. I asked you. I said, "Who is, you know, the teacher across the hall?" Because I like her posters. And being the mathematician that he is, he was like, what do you mean across the hall? They're like 4 different directions. What do you mean across the hall? Are you talking about directly across? Are you talking about to the right? Are you talking about to the left? And I got upset about that because I'm like, across.
And I don't remember that.
I know, because it's been so many years ago. But
we had to go to counseling because of across the hall?
went to counseling.
We're crazy. That's why we had to go to counseling, because both of us are literally nuts. And we fussed about going across the hall. Forget it. Anyway, what were you saying?
I forgot what I was saying.
We're nuts.
Okay, but anyway, so when we went there, one of the things that the counselor told us, and I loved him for this, but he said, when you are in a honeymoon phase, don't sweat the small stuff. There are going to be seasons where it's uninvitable. You know, you're going to have hard times where you really are.
You had that first argument.
Yeah, but when you're in the honeymoon phase, don't sweat the small stuff. Enjoy the newness of it all. You know, have as much sex as you want. You know, talk.
Spring, summer,
yeah,
winter, fall, all of it. You just keep on going.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, we sidetracked. But anyway, so yeah, that's what we want to say, because summer is coming. When you sow in the spring, you'll be able to reap what you sow in the harvest. So when your relationship gets a little hot and you're questioning, wait a minute, this is not the person I'm married.
I think something has changed.
Yes, something has changed.
Something doesn't feel as, you know, and so it's just, but summer is fun. Why are we fussing about summer? Why are we upset and mad because our relationship is in the summer? Summer is fun.
It is.
It's fun. But this is when the kicker comes. Fall.
The fall.
Fall is when things start to get a little bit cold, a little bit nippy, a little bit chilly. And not only is it not spring, it's not summer either. And stuff is starting to fall off. The leaves are coming off the trees. Things that were green are now brown. Things that had leaves are now just twigs and sticks. Stuff is lost during the fall. Things begin to reset during the fall. And when things begin to fall in the relationship, we begin to wonder, like, okay, we for sure are falling out of love. We're falling out of love. No, you're not. The season is just changing, and that's why so many relationships don't make it past that first couple of years, you know, because they can't weather or endure the changing of the seasons, and they take it as an indication that the relationship is going sour, that we no longer enjoy each other just because it's fall. But see, the thing about fall is still the season in the beginning of your harvest. It is still the season where you benefit and remember how awesome it was in the spring, how much fun you had in the spring, and you keep on going because fall harvest is still coming in during that time. But at that time, you're starting to prepare for a reset. Because winter is coming, and it doesn't mean that we're not trying to say that your relationship is going to go bad, you're never going to have fun again, and winter has to be an awful thing, but times do change, feelings do change. And, you know, during the fall, think fresh growth is not coming in the fall. Things are resetting, and it's okay. It's okay to reset.
Well, fall is one of my favorite seasons. I'm not a
we
summer
got married
person.
in the fall.
We got married in the fall.
And I love it because of that reason, but I don't like the cold.
But I love the cold. Winter is, you know,
I like
the
to be
season
warm,
of.
always.
He does. But fall is one of my favorite seasons, and it's not just because we got married. Primarily, it is because we got married. But I noticed the changes that happen in the fall. Like you said, things start to die. They go brown. The leaves start to turn brown, and it starts to look yucky in the beginning of the fall. But by the end of the fall, there's so many colors.
Isn't it?
Yeah, there's so many variations of beauty. And so that is to say that there is beauty in every season.
And in the fall, because it's cold, you can draw closer together.
Yes.
You know? I like that.
Yes, that's a very
good
point.
Yeah, when it gets cold, that means pull each other closer so you can get warmer. That's awesome. Because, I mean, really, in the summertime, it's like, get off of me.
Yes.
Because it's hot. But in the fall time, when things start, draw each other close. Hey, baby, I love you.
Yeah.
Now, you remember when we did this? Oh, that was so fun.
Right.
You know, fall is good.
Yeah, you have to draw on the experiences that you share, the shared experiences that you had in the springtime. It is harvest time. And I love fall because, like you said, trouble doesn't always have to end in you being separated or you going your separate ways. Trouble is really designed to bring out the best in you.
It shows who you really are.
It shows who you really are.
And it shows the nature of the relationship, because when the fire comes to try your relationship, what it's made of is going to be revealed in that time. And if you built your relationship on springtime infatuation, you can't endure the chill of the fall. You have to be able to have a relationship that is strong enough and solid enough that is not contingent upon thrill. Because thrill comes and goes. It has its place in relationships, but it's not what causes a relationship to thrive perpetually. It's just a part.
It's just a part.
And so you have to embrace all of the seasons if you want to have a real relationship, because you find out who your ride or die is when it starts to get cold.
Yes.
That's when you really start finding out who's really on your side and whether or not he really loves you, whether she really loves you. That's what fall begins to show.
Yeah. And I found that even in our fall seasons, we still go through the fall seasons.
If you don't, marriage is, all 4 seasons.
Yeah, and just like a year, every year goes through, 4 seasons. And in your marriage, every year, you're going to go through 4 seasons.
Or maybe not every year, but you will have seasons.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good
maybe
way
not
to,
a year time.
Yeah, well, that's right. It's not a year's time, but throughout the years, you're going to go through
different
every
stuff.
Season.
Yeah.
Every season. It's going to be repetitive, but it's not to break you, as we said before. It is to just make you better.
Bring you
closer. It is to make you stronger. And I will say this with 100% surety. It is not the springtime that has made us closer and made us who we are. It's enjoying the fall,
man,
and the winter.
The doggone winter.
Oh my goodness.
Look, y'all.
The winter is brutal.
The winter.
The winter is brutal.
Cold.
It's cold.
And you might find yourself by yourself sometimes, at least in your heart. You may be laying in the same bed, but in a whole different house. You're in the same bed, but you are not together, and you're not feeling.
And that's the truth. And I'm going to tell you, one of the things that I want to bring up, it's a little bit personal, but people look at our relationship and they admire it. And I think that's the goal. I think that is what Christ wants to reveal in the end. He wants people to see the glory. And it is glory. It's glorious. It's the most beautiful thing that you could ever witness if you marry the right person. But there are seasons that are very trying. There are seasons that are very cutthroat and chilling. And it makes you almost want to give up and throw in the towel.
It's normal. It happens.
But I want to use this particular experience just to tell you that your marriage is designed really to withstand the cold season. It is not just for you to have fun. I read a quote one time that says that marriage is not just to make you happy, but it is to make you holy, and not holy in the sense of, not just holy in the sense where it makes you more Christ-like, but it makes your relationship whole. It makes you able to withstand the trials that are going to come your way. I remember a time years ago, it's been several years ago, but my husband went into a deep depression. It was so bad that I didn't know how in the world I was going to withstand this, because I'm used to him, bringing me flowers every day. I'm used to waking up with kisses. I'm used to just the exuberant, talkative, engaged Shelton. But I had to go through a season where he was withdrawn. And it wasn't because of me. It wasn't because of our children. But it was because of a situation that had happened to him when something that he had hoped for all of his life, it just died in his hands. And I want to tell you that in marriage, that you are going to go through seasons where you thought that the dream that you had when you were 20, you thought by the time you were 40 you would realize it. But you realize that God puts you on a different path. And sometimes the path that
life hands you something.
Yeah, something different. And when it does, you've got to learn how to maneuver that thing.
You got to learn how to work the winter.
You've got to learn how to work
and
the
woe
winter.
to the man who is alone when he falls.
Yeah.
Woe to the woman who is alone when she's cold. Because if two be together, they can hold each other and warm one another. If two be together, when one falls, the other can pick them up. That's what winter is about. You may not be having the best of times during your winter time, but that's a time to pick up your mate. That's a time to pick yourself up. That's a time to make each other warm in the hard times and to bond together more than you did when it was springtime. You know, and winter. It is.
And on the contrary, there have been times where my faith has been tested. You know, I had prayed for several years to have a child, and I was told that I would never have children. I was told that even with in vitro, that it was a 99.9% chance that I would not have children. I was devastated by that. My faith was rocked to the core, and he had to hold me up. He had to speak the word of God in me. That was a winter season for me. I've gone through many winter seasons where I had a dream job and lost my job. You know, I've gone through many winter seasons where we've had to endure it together. And, you know, one of the preacher that we really love, T.D. Jakes, he says throughout marriage you will go through every single season.
You sure will. Over and over again.
That you could ever imagine. And, but it is in the winter season that great marriages are birthed.
Yes, that's when it's not just the heat that forges. Sometimes it's that cold that bonds you together in that wintertime season. And that's what we're trying to share, because we want to save some of these young relationships who you have a great husband, you have a great wife, but the season changed. And you think that your marriage is over because you're arguing. You think your marriage is over because you can't see eye to eye and you're not getting along right now. All you need is a little counseling. All you need is some prayer. All you need is some reflection and some self-checking. Like, check yourself and reflect on yourself and re-look at your vision, where you want to go with your life and your marriage, and start going there. It's just a reset. It's not the end. It's just a reset. And the thing is, once winter is over, here comes spring again. You understand what I'm saying? So it comes right back around full circle. So all of our young people, our young relationships, and even our older relationships, where you just may be in a winter time, or you may be in that fall time and things are falling apart, or you may be in that summertime where newness and freshness is worn off and it's not what it was before. You wonder, am I out of love? Listen, it's not that. It's just another season. Enjoy it, embrace it, and use the season. It'll make your marriage better. So that's our 4 seasons, the 4 seasons of marriage. Visit us on SheltonMartin.com and sign up for Marriage with the Martins. We can come sit with you, talk to you, give more counseling. Visit us on YouTube, SRMJ Enterprises, and you can see us both on Facebook. Shelton R. Martin, Mashika S. Martin, we're all over the place. So we'll see you later. God bless.